Hi guys, it's just on the case. It might be a little dark. I'm actually upstairs cleaning out the attic, and then I just decided that I wanted to do a video. So it doesn't matter where I am. I'm definitely gonna speak how I feel. Um, every time I try to, like stay away from, like people getting hurt and things happening, I just never could be that person. I'm always the type of person who cares about people being killed, being hurt. Why did this happen to them? Why does anybody know what's going on? Can I have my own opinion and figure out what I think happened? And that's just me. Like I said, I'm in the attic cleaning up, so I just decided I was gonna do a video. Um, First and foremost, still resting peace to Keneeka. I think her birthday might have just passed, and it's just more better for me to go ahead and talk about her first. First and foremost, people are starting to realize, they're starting to think that Keneeka is not the reason. Well, her friends are not the reason why she's dead. I tend to go with the fact that if it was her friends that killed her or had something to do with it, don't you think? I'm just saying how people are. Just look at the Crime Stoppers and Crime Watch in 2020 and Dateline and Snapped and Discovery Channel, Investigation Discovery. Those people, they could murder. The problem with them is they can't get away with murder because they don't know how to be quiet. Which you're not supposed to be getting away with it. That's not what I'm saying. If they were quiet, they would get away with murder, but because they are not quiet and they don't keep things to themselves, they will never get away with murder. You see people every day that are so close to getting away with what they did. And then you hear about them going and telling one person, and that person going to this person, and that person knowing five more people, and then them knowing, and then somebody conscious like me. I have a big conscience, and that's why I have a big heart. It gets to them, and they feel like this is not right, and I need to go tell somebody. And that's why I'm saying some people are starting to realize that Keneeka's friends were not the reason why she was dead, and that they had nothing to do with it. Of course, if either one of them had something to do with it, first of all, not trying to be funny, they wouldn't have been able to plan out a murder that good. By putting somebody in a freezer, or like we seen, I don't know if that was really what happened, but there was a maintenance man. He had a whole cart. He had a bag of trash on the top, and then at the bottom he had this very big bag. Kind of looked like something was folded up in the bag, and he was just pushing the bag, and he happened to make an accident and hit something, and he tried to roll the bag back. When he did, some leakage came out. What it looked like to us is that it was blood, but who can really be sure about what that was, because they're not really giving us a whole lot of good quality video. They deleted most of the stuff. Let's go back to the beginning. They deleted a lot of things that could have probably solved the mystery. People keep asking, why is this case so big? What is it about this case that makes this case so big? People so interested in this case. It's not just this case to me. I'm interested in a lot of cases. But this one right here is haunting. Huh? Who, Eli? Dang, he messed up my YouTube. You on the damn thing. Anyway, like basically I'm saying how can people not understand that people can get away with murder? It's just that people don't know how to get away with murder. People cannot keep their mouth shut. It's not a good thing to get away with murder. I'm just saying, if you look at the crime shows, you have seen some where people almost got off, but they just couldn't shut up, and they told so and so, and he told his cousin, and then he told five more people. With the Keneeka story, if those girls did anything, trust and believe, this would have been blew up, and it would have been over. That is not what happened. That is not what's going on. What's going on is they had nothing to do with it. They are shocked themselves. They have no idea what happened. They don't know. They all of them came to a party to have fun, to drink like 19 and 18, and if you've been that age, you know. Do. They drink, they party, they listen to music, they dance, they do everything they can't do at home at this get together. So when Keneeka had to lie to her mom to go to this thing, evidently it was going to be really cool because it was one of her friend's birthdays. So for you to have to understand, Monifa, Irene, Shamika, they had nothing to do with the fact that Keneeka was killed. It was not them. How I know this is because I'm not saying that we're not smart and 18 and 20-year-olds are not smart, but the crime that was committed, they're not smart enough to commit a crime so vicious and so sneaky. Like, this girl's mother came into the hotel, told the hotel daughter's missing. Can someone help me find my kid? The hotel staff is telling her to stand outside and go outside, and they're gonna call the police. Just listen to that. Doesn't that seem like to you that, hold on, hurry up, wait a minute, I have to, oh God, this is her mother, I have to hurry up and I have to get things straight here. This lady is wanting to know what's going on. See, what they did not know is that there was actually a concerned parent. They never knew that there was a concerned parent, and they thought that they would have enough time to do what they needed to do, and that the parent would probably didn't even care, would show up later on, probably 2-3 days from now, walking the streets, or just now figuring out where her kid was. What they didn't know is that Keneeka's mom really cared about her and her sister, and came out after those women told her that her daughter had been missing. After those women had her daughter's phone and the car keys to the car, her mother knew that something was wrong. And for her mother to go up there and rush up there, to get up there to Rosemont Hotel to look for her daughter, that tells you that she really cared about her children, and that you can look at Keneeka and tell, even though she dressed a little provocative, and at age 19 and 18, they like to listen to music. We did it when we was their age. Music is a big influence on kids and how they dress, how they talk, what they think is cool, what they think is not cool. And so how she dressed, you can tell she was well put together though. It's not like she had on dirty sneakers, dirty clothes, and raggedy clothes. She dressed better than most of the people there, not trying to be funny, just trying to give you a good idea and have you look at what I'm looking at. So her mother gets up there and she asks them, I can't find my daughter. My daughter was here. My daughter is missing. And they brush her off. Not only did they brush her off, but 911 brushed her off. Like, man, maybe she's just partying. She'll probably turn up. Give her a few hours. A mother knows their child. And if your child is missing and you know your child, you're not going to give your child a couple hours, and they have a cell phone and they have keys to your car, which you told them they could borrow, and if they need to get away, they can use the car to get away, but you don't hear anything from them. You don't get a phone call. You don't see a car in the yard. You don't see anything pull up for hours. Then you know that there's something wrong. So you get up and you're in a panic because people are not going to understand your kid like you understand your kid. So you're already panicking, just like, passed out, because you're like, where's my kid? I know my kid would not call me all this time, and these people are saying they haven't seen them. If her friends haven't seen her, then I know as a parent that there's something wrong. If I know normally my kid is with her friends, then I know something is not right. So that is what happened with Keneeka. Her parents, her parents, her mother knew that Keneeka was not the type of person that wouldn't be without her friends, that wouldn't be, just somewhere. So for people not to understand that, being a parent, that when your child, that you have, is something that you have to do. It's, you have to go out, you have to go looking for them, because that's you as the parent. um for the security guard at the desk to just brush that off, that was evidence right there that there was a problem, that there was a problem, and that it was about to be some cover up going on. For those 18 hours that girl was missing, those 18 hours, and they pushing the mama back outside and all this stuff, and threatening to call the cops on her while she's trying to get her daughter. There's a missing kid, and you're calling, you're wanting to call the cops on me, and my kid is missing. Don't you think, okay, being a security guard is kind of like being a police officer. They supposed to help people. If somebody runs up to a security guard, your job as a security guard is to make sure the place is secure and the people are secure and comfortable. Why would you brush this woman off because she said her kid is missing and this was the last place she was? I'm not understanding that part. Because normally, I mean, normally security guards are a little bit better than that at their job, unless like these, they're hiding something. And when you're hiding something, you're not doing your job. You're not going to do what you would normally do to help, because your mind is on, oh, I got to get rid of this, or oh, something's going to happen, I had to get rid of this. This is my thing. Keneeka is, her case is just getting worse and worse, and that's why I left the case before, because people started making up so much stuff. It was just like, wow, nobody's gonna want to listen to this if these things are being turned around like this, and this is not what happened. And so now it's like, I'm not the type of person that's focused on what other people think. I'm the type of person, I'm focused on what happened. I'm focused on the crime of what happened. Why did this happen to just her? Why didn't it happen to other people? Why didn't other people get 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 in trouble for the crime? Why didn't other people get put in the freezer with her? Why was she the only girl in the freezer? What was so special about Keneeka that she had to die? That's my whole thing. What's so special about this case that nobody really knows what happened, but the case is closed? How is that? How are you closing a case that is not solved? This case is not solved. I'm like a crime person. That's why my name is Jess on the Case. I look at all crime shows, all crime stuff. And what I can tell you from being 10 to 30 years old and watching, I have seen so many crime shows where a person disappears. They never find a body. They never find evidence. They never find anything. Guess what they do? Keep the case open. I have seen cases where there's direct evidence that a person has killed someone. What happens? Case is closed, person walks. I'm just going to give you a prime example of a case where somebody has direct evidence against them. Not circumstantial, direct evidence. Casey Anthony is a prime example of a person who has direct evidence against them, but is able to walk free while a child has been killed. A child that was supposed to be in her. She was supposed to be taken care of. I'm just like, can Kaylee is dead because of Casey. If Casey didn't want to take care of Kaylee, she should have gave her to her grandparents, and Kaylee would have been here today. Instead, I feel like Casey's way of getting back at her parents when they pissed her off was to take Kaylee with her and not let them see her when they asked. And that right there will kill a grandparent, especially one that really loves their grandkids. And that's what she did. And whatever she did after that is what she did. Now, what I'm going to say about this whole thing now is Casey's mother had it right the first time when she found Casey's car. She found that white car parked, and she opened the trunk up, and she said that it stunk. And she called the police and said, this smells like a dead body's been in the car. She was right then. But because she loved her child so much that she tried to recant what she said. But once you take that and you put it out there, and especially when it's on the internet, it's not going anywhere. It's going to always be there, and that's where she messed up at. So this is my thing. People get away with murder. Cases are closed all the time. People just end up just getting away with stuff. Just getting away with it, running off, doing what they want to do, killing people. But look at this case. Police gets in front of the camera, not even the second week, and says that this case was an accident and she walked into the freezer. I'm going to say this again. I have a problem with that because Keneeka walked all that long time. She walked to the point where she started kind of getting a little bit better at walking. And it's not a lie. It's truth. You look back at those videos. When she first started walking, she was stumbling a lot, running into stuff. The more she walked, guess what? The more coherent she got. Her stumbling started to kind of fade just a little bit, where she was walking kind of a little bit normal. And what I'm saying is, there is no way that Keneeka just, like, went in that freezer by herself. Like they said, this wasn't Keneeka's first Hennessy cup. Wasn't her first time getting high. Wasn't her first time going to a party. She has been drunk several times. More than 3 times. More than 4. People will get away with what you allow them to. And right now, the world is allowing people to get away with murder. I am trying to figure out, on all of those videos that we have watched, how is it maintenance and security is all in the video, but nobody has really questioned them. Nobody has sat down and questioned them like they should have. Nobody closed the hotel down for evidence. Nobody did anything. They carried on like this girl was not a human being, like her life did not matter. And I'm going to say this. All lives matter. There is no such thing as this life, this life, and this life. We are all part of humanity. That is what people have to understand. Doesn't matter about your skin color, how bright you are, how dark you are, how whatever you are. We all bleed the same way. We go the same way. So when you die, there is nobody that's going to come and get you and tell you you're better than me so you don't have to die. You're going to bleed out. You're going to die. You're going to go 6 feet under. I always say that because people, I don't understand people and their mind frame. And how do you feel like you're justified in any way because you're a different color? It does not matter what color you are. This is skin. Pull it. Go pull a black person's. It's skin. And we all have the same mess. I'm not understanding. So right now it's just like, and then another story that's really getting to me right now. And I don't expect everybody to look at my YouTube channel and understand what's going on. I'm the type of person, I'm very sensitive about crime. Crime is my passion, and stories of the innocent is my passion. I live for the innocent. And Keneeka here in this, she was innocent. She didn't have a gun. She didn't have a knife. She wasn't cussing at anyone and starting trouble. As you can see in the video, they were just partying and having a good time. And she ends up dead at the end, and nobody knows what happened. But they can say that it was an accident, and that's all they say. Oh, it was an accident. You don't know if it was an accident because you didn't try to verify anything. But I said I'm in the attic. Um, just looking around, just thinking about what's really going on. It's like, what do you get from lying? What are you gonna get for lying? You're not gonna get anything for lying. Nobody's gonna pay you for the lies that you tell. Nobody is gonna give you any extra anything unless you're lying and you're hiding a murder that you're getting paid for, or because the boss man, people keep saying that the boss man did it. I don't believe that. The boss man has more than one place that he owns. I don't believe that. I believe that somebody in that hotel that works for the boss man did this. And I believe they got paid to do so. I believe first it wasn't gonna happen. It was just gonna be the party and nobody even thought about this. But I believe Keneeka had to do something and she walked out of that room and wasn't supposed to be where she was at, and I believe somebody started watching her on film, and I believe they started following her. That is what I believe. And I believe after that they started concocting a plan to kill her or to do something to her, but the plan went terribly wrong and she ended up in the freezer after being killed. I don't think that she struggled in that freezer. I don't think anybody would have the room or the time to do that in the freezer. I feel like this is something that had already happened, and then she was placed in the freezer after they realized it went wrong, and they put her in the freezer and turned the freezer on because they were trying to hide something. So putting someone in the freezer means nobody will smell a dead body. Nobody will smell death. And so you probably could hide this body for a long time and it will let you know, hey, this person is dead, and I don't have to worry about, anybody trying to figure out what's going on or what happened. Because the person is dead. The person is in the freezer, but the person is also deceased. And that gives you more than enough opportunity to do whatever it is that you want to do to them. So if you put somebody in the freezer, that's hiding a crime. That's basically hiding a crime and saying, look, I'm putting this person in the freezer because I know someone is going to come looking for this person, and people in the hotel are eventually going to start smelling death. So what would you do? Put them in the freezer. Nobody's going to smell anybody in a freezer, especially if people. Thank you. Nobody's gonna like, why would you not put someone in the freezer? I'm just saying, I watch a lot of crime shows, so that's what type of person I am. I'm all for the innocence, and when I see stuff like this, I have to say something. Like, when I say crime shows, I mean I watch Snaps, I watch Investigation Discovery, I watch MSNBC, I watch anything that has to do with someone dying. Thank you. With someone dying and stuff happening to them. And this right here, this is like one of those things where someone kills her and they got away with it. Just listen. Right. Okay, so listen to what I'm saying, because you say you used to work for forensics. So listen. All right. I never worked for forensics, but I should have, because of all the crime shows I've watched. I think I've been watching them since I was 12, and now I'm 30. So you can just about imagine how much stuff I know. So, okay. Police gets on the scene, gets on TV and says it was an accident. When he said that, I was already like flabbergasted. I'm like, you didn't even shut the hotel down. You did not put emergency tape up, caution tape where she walked at. A little kid or somebody in that hotel could have walked that way and could have found some evidence of a fight or anything. But you never put that stuff out. So that seems to me somebody knew somebody was covering something up. And that's how I feel about it. The police was too quick about it being an accident. And then it's like when the mom gets to the hotel and asks them, can she see the footage? Because her daughter was missing and they told her that this was the last place her daughter was. They tell her they finna call the cops on her or she need to leave. That's a sign of, I don't care what you're talking about right now. Right. That's what I was thinking because everything I've ever seen in my entire life on TV, wherever, they always, even in my own little town, they always tape it off. They always tape it off. It doesn't matter how small the crime is. They get that yellow tape and they tell you you're not coming across here. And they did not do that. They let that hotel continue to make money like nobody died there. Nobody was ever there. And I think that's something the hotel told them. Right, and they didn't even do that. And all of those people that was at that hotel, all of those workers, security guard, maintenance, managers, everyone should have been taken into the investigation room like they do on 48 hours. You know, 48 hours, they do not play. They put you in there and leave you in there for hours and hours and keep going through to see if you're going to change your story or to see if you're going to tell a lie. And they did not do that. They did not ask the security guard too many questions because the security guard told them they didn't see anything. But guess what? That's the security guard. He saw the whole tape the whole time that girl was walking down them them hallways. He saw her walking down the hallway. Now, this is my what I think is just happened. I don't think that when the party started, I don't think that nobody was intentionally supposed to get killed. I feel like it was just supposed to be a party and the kids was just supposed to be having fun because you know they can't do those things at home. Who can pop pills at home? Who can drink at home at that age? And who can listen to whatever music however loud they want to? You heard them screaming on the video that was saved. Right. He did leave the country the next day and didn't even say, he could have got on TV because that's his hotel. Like, I feel sorry for the family of the young girl. I just want to give my condolences and I hope everything is okay. That's what people who normally have businesses and somebody died at their business, that's what they normally say. Remember that kid who was in Florida? Was it Florida? Where the crocodile came out? Am I mistaken? But anyway, the crocodile didn't come out. The kid went towards the water, and it was his mom and dad fault to me because they were sitting back and they was chilling and doing whatever they was doing, and they just let their baby walk, a 3-year-old walk to the water, whatever, 3 or 4 years old, and he ended up getting pulled in. Right, and then his mom and dad was yelling, "Oh my God, it's your guys' fault. You shouldn't have had this. It's your fault, ma'am. You have that kid is your responsibility. You should have had him. He should have been over there with you. You should have had him where he was supposed to be at. No, you're back there with your husband, not paying him any mind, and now he's gone. And that's my thing. That what I'm trying to say is that amusement park or whatever it was, they did say, I do my best to the family, and I sent out my condolences to them. And they even, I think they even gave them some money. But really and truly, they didn't owe them anything because it was them. I think even at the end, they said that those people, that amusement park had a sign that said something about don't get in the water or don't get close to the water, caution, and they shouldn't even been out there. So for them to start hollering and yelling, social services can get them for being unfit parents, for being out there and not watching their kid. No, I'm from North Carolina. So, but so some of my life, like with my grandma, I grew up in Washington a little bit, Washington D.C. Yeah, so that's really close to Maryland. But thank you. It's kind of country and kind of, but yeah. And then what really made me get off YouTube, because I've been off YouTube for a while. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been off YouTube for a minute because of how YouTube people have been doing. I don't like posting up a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, I know you've seen it. I don't like posting a whole lot of stuff. I'm not gonna post those videos up of those 36 hours where Keneeka was walking down the hallway, because that's when I realized from the beginning that it had been tampered with. I'm like, it's no need for us to put this up. I hope nobody puts this up. Everybody put it up. I think some people were just seeing stuff and they were just like, oh, did you see that? There was nothing to see. Like, I'm just being honest, not trying to be funny, but some of the stuff they were seeing, I did not see that. I really didn't see what they were seeing. I saw a little bit of stuff, and I could tell what was edited and what was not. So the red motion across the screen, that was what I was paying attention to the most. When that red motion detector thing went across the screen and nobody was walking by, that means whoever was supposed to be walking by, they edited them out. When Keneeka was coming around from the steps, coming back around, there was this thing on the wall when somebody had already passed by and you could see people inside of it, but you couldn't really see a face, but you could see people inside of it. You could see something moving in there. And Keneeka was walking towards that, but somebody else had already walked past, and what they did was they edited those people out. And then I saw her put her hand up like this, like where I'm supposed to go, and she was moving her head. That showed you somebody was telling her where to go. They put that footage out to make people believe, hey, I don't have anything to hide. But what they messed up at was when the mother first asked for the footage, that's when they should have gave it to her. But remember, if we all go back, because see, this world is, if you really want me to be honest and you really want me to tell you what I think, I have a very open mind. This world is contaminated. This is systematic. Everything we do is systematic. They feel like that they control all of us so well that we're stupid. And that, right, it is not. Like, we're stupid. Oh, I just told them the other week that I didn't have no video. So they like, oh, we didn't tell them that. We told them we didn't have any video. They know they told us that, but they looking at us like they're not gonna remember that we told them that we didn't have video 2 weeks ago. They just gonna be happy when we put the video out that they have video, and that's exactly what happened. Nobody. It was a few people that realized they just said that we didn't have any. They didn't have any video. Now they're saying they had video. Which one is it? But some of the people were so happy that they did not care that they said they didn't have video at first and then they come out with a bunch of video. They were so busy dissecting, and that's where the cover up came in at. They threw those videos out. People were dissecting them, and the whole time behind all of that, they was getting stuff ready in the background to make sure that when they said that it looked like a accident, they made it look like an accident. Because guess what? America was too busy looking at videos of stuff that had already been reshopped, tampered with. Right. They needed time to create. Exactly. They need time to create, to see, okay, what can we do to take their eyes off this case? They didn't know this case was going to be that big. I'm not trying to be funny, but with black people, and I'm half black myself, so with black people, they tend to feel like, okay, these people don't care, they stupid. And I'm just gonna put it out there. Black people are not stupid. They just don't think about stuff before they do stuff. And so they know, okay, they thought this black girl was not going to be missed. Her mother probably didn't care about her. Every black person family is not like that. You have family who black people. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're like a good story for everybody. We it's like Every black person is struggling. Every black little boy, if he gets to play basketball, oh, he had a bad childhood. Tell them about your childhood while you're up here. He came from the Bronx and he was just in the hood. That's not every black person. Some black people really come from good homes. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million. If your mom takes good care of you and she can get you from point A to point B, you got a roof over your head and it's not dirty, and you're not starving to death, and you don't look like you had on clothes from 5 days ago. You're being taken care of. It's not about money. It's about this, and it's about what your parents are feeding you at home. Like, what kind of education are you getting from your parents? Are they telling you Willy Wonka stories, or are you? Exactly. Listen, I'm gonna tell you. My grandmother raised me. My grandmother has a house in North Carolina. My grandma has houses in Washington D.C. My grandmother raised 3 girls. They were my mother's kids and my father's kids. My mother and father, they got married at a young age. They did not want to get married. But as my grandmother being a pastor of 2 churches, one in North Carolina and one in Washington D.C., my mother was the center of attention to other church members. Like, you know how churches have congregations, and then they go with other churches. This church come to your church, that church you go to that church, and y'all sing at that church. That's how it was. So everybody knew my mom, and it was like she really couldn't do any wrong, because it would make my grandmother look like she wasn't doing her job. So my grandma um found out that she was messing with my father, and so my grandmother made them get married because she found out that my mother was pregnant. So she made them get married at the age of 16. So at the age of 16, you have my mother and father getting married, laughing at the altar, because my mother told me this story, laughing and playing at the altar because they did not want to get married and they did not take it serious. So once they got married, they had my youngest sister. So they had my older sister, then me, then my youngest sister. Right. And so my mother, oh, my story now. My story is not all peaches and cream. I'm gonna tell you. Everybody, I feel like everybody in America, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't think I should say this, but I'm gonna say how I feel. If you have a if you have it's probably somebody in your life that might have had some type of issue. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody has had stuff. Like my mother decided, oh, I'm not gonna take care of my kids. I'ma just leave them in the house with no lights, no food, and I'ma do it like that. Right. That's my mom. That's what my mom said. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna run out here and do what I want to do. But that's what I'm saying. Keneeka's mom was not doing that. Keneeka's mom was on some stuff like, I'm gonna take care of my daughters. You could tell she was taking care of them because she wasn't doing like people trying to say she did a bunch of stuff, but she really didn't. Hold on 1 second. I'm over here looking at my son's homework, trying to make sure he got, because you know how boys are. They don't really like to do homework. Oh, man. Okay, well, tell me this then. Tell me if this is true. So one guy, his name is what is that guy's name? His name is Jess. You know Jesse. His name Jesse. My name's Jess. I think his name is Jesse. But Jesse, he has like this radio show, and he said he had this girl from Chicago up there with this dude, and the girl said that Keneeka's mama took very good care of her, but Keneeka got all them clothes and stuff from dudes off the street. She said Keneeka was setting people up, and that's why she's in the trouble she was in. Um, I just want to know if that's true. And then Jess got Jesse got back up there later on and said that the dude that was on his show went to jail, went to prison for a murder or something, and something else, and the girl had to move away from Chicago because some stuff was happening to her. I heard Irene had to move away because they kept threatening her and her child. And I'm just trying to figure out. Let me see what you said. I'm trying to figure out if that's true or not. Um, but they was like Keneeka job was setting up people. She was setting, and she set the wrong group of people up, and that's how she ended up like that. And then I saw on the video that those people, they were making like gang signs. It was a bunch of different gangs at the party. See what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's the type of stuff they was saying. But I feel like if it wasn't the hotel, and it would be, yeah, BD and GD, exactly what I saw. I saw the girl take. I ain't gonna put mine up because somebody gonna think I'm one of them, and I'm not. No, I'm always neutral. I have nothing to do with the gang affiliated stuff. But that stuff could get you killed by just putting up the wrong stuff. But I feel like she kind of looked like she was in something because of how she dressed sometimes. And not only that, she right. Not only that, she had like people like all around her all the time. She was with different people, so you don't know what really happened. You can't even say what happened to her because she was always around different people. Like before, like way in the beginning of this story, there was a girl. I don't know her name. Right, you right. But there was this girl, and she was with her friend, and she said Keneeka wasn't even supposed to be at this party. Keneeka was supposed to be at freaking the movies. I understand. You right. You right. She was like, Keneeka was supposed to be with us at the movies. She told her mother that she was gonna would have never fucking said what y'all had to say. Keneeka would be here now. But because motherfuckers said what y'all said, now Keneeka is gone. Keneeka went to that party. Y'all begged her. But she would have stayed with me. She would have still been like, the girl was just going off, and somebody got on her face, her live feed, and they was talking shit to her. And she was like, pull up, like I'll fight you right now. All y'all fake. And it was like, this is my thing. Just being real, keeping it 100. So I told you, I grew up in North Carolina, but I also grew up in Washington, D.C. I did the papers for Washington, D.C. I mean, selling newspapers by the subway, the Tacoma station, just, out there. So it's not like I don't know the streets. She sure did, because I stopped. Now, I did stop talking. I stopped. At first, when she first came out, I was rocking with her because I really thought that she was really like, with Keneeka. I thought she was on her side. But then I started looking. I'm like, is she trying to get people to talk to her? Because she started saying, her story started switching up. It took like 2 weeks and she started talking about something else. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. But what I'm saying is, me being real, like I have a best friend I've known for 8 years. 8 years. People say, oh, this is my best friend. Guess what? They best friend they only known for 2 years. Or not even 2 years, probably last week. Oh, now this your best friend. No, you can't trust that person. You don't know that person, but that's your best friend. Next week y'all won't be talking. But my best friend I known for 8 years. My best friend go into a hotel with me now. I'm on my mama. I'm on her. She on her mama car. We over here at this hotel. I already know she not supposed to be over here. You feel me? I already know how her mama is. Her mama done let her drive the car. We over here, and we not supposed to be over here. We supposed to be at the movies. Why in the hell Am I gonna let this girl out of my sight so I can hear her mama mouth? Why am I gonna let her out of my sight when I know her mama know more than most of the time we are together? Like wherever she go, eventually if I'm not there, I'm going to be there. Why would I not know where my best friend is at? That's the only problem I had with them. That's the problem I had with Irene, um, Monifa, Shamika. I don't really. I'm Irene too. I'm gonna just be honest. The person that I have a problem with is Monifa. I have a problem with Monifa because she swears the most. Now them other two say that was their best friend. They love her, but you don't see a whole lot of what they doing. Monifa is the one that look that felt like she was supposed to do something, like she didn't do what she was supposed to do as a friend. That is what made me realize, okay, girl, you said this is your best friend, you love this girl so much, and y'all been friends since da 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 da. Why? That's what everybody said too. That girl, it was that girl. I wish you could go look at Jess. He had that girl with that green hoodie on. She was the one that said that she was the one that said that Keneeka mama did some things. You know what I'm talking about? Like, not no killing or nothing, but she did stuff. And that's why Keneeka was straight, and that's why Keneeka ain't never asked for nothing. Which ain't nothing wrong with that if you can do it and you don't get in trouble. And so, for you to say, like, the family and friends, they was jealous and of that, of each other, I understand that because they was talking about, yeah, they was talking about Keneeka mama, doing all that stuff, and you know what I'm saying. That who business is that? That woman still alive. Who? Why is you talking about that woman? Why is you telling that woman business? Like that's what I'm saying. I'm in North Carolina. North Carolina a little bit way easier than Chicago. North Carolina is mainly, I don't want to call them racist. I say depends on what part you in. North Carolina is okay. You got a part of North Carolina that is like any state. They got their little stuff. Most of the people in North Carolina, guess where they come from? They come from New York. They come from New Jersey. They come from Chicago. That's if you come down here. See, if you come up here, guess who up here? Guess who up here right now? Guess who lives up here? See if you can guess who live up here. A rapper that live up here. Now, J. Cole is from North Carolina, but I'm talking about Remy Ma. Remy Ma just moved up here. She got that. I know you be hearing it on the radio where she got that conceited store. Remy Ma. Yep, she just moved up here. I'm telling you, when I was going to school, it was so many people from New York. Oh, where you from? I'm from New York. I'm like, dang, why is these people coming from New York to here? Or I'm from Chicago. I have somebody at my job right now that's from Chicago and always tell about how Chicago is. Like, y'all keep talking about Chicago is so bad and dirty. That's not how Chicago is. All of Chicago is not bad and dirty. Chicago is a good place if you do want to go and visit. You can go visit places. That's what they say. Chicago is not a dirty ass place. Y'all just see the hard parts of Chicago, but y'all don't see the whole part of Chicago. That's what the person was saying. They was like, y'all need to stop saying that it's dirty. But see, me, I don't know nothing about Chicago, so I don't voice on a state or say, oh, this state dirty and this is this and that. But I was just, oh, for real. Right, and then, I don't know if it was Chicago getting that Chris Brown and Soldier Boy. Right, she was going off at work because she was like, that's the problem. People thinking Chicago just this dirty place. Every place got a bad place on it. Y'all just looking at this because this is Keneeka, this is surrounded by Keneeka and all this shit. Chicago is a place people just don't. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave that part alone. That part. She said that certain people, and you know what certain people I'm talking about, don't want people to come and visit because they trying to push people out of Chicago is what I heard. They trying to make Chicago back. They want Chicago back, so they pushing people, trying to don't want people to come. You know what I'm saying? Don't want people to come visit, so they trying to make it look like, oh, it's so ratchet and it's so bad, but they only showing that part. But guess what? That reminds me of what? That reminds me of Africa. They show all that mess on Africa about them kids walking out there picking up cans. One can, he need to go get him something to eat. What about the beautiful parts of Africa, the city part with all the buildings and you know what I'm saying? They don't show that because they don't want you to see that. They want you to not come. They want you to have your mind stuck in one place, and that's how America is. If you don't never get out and you don't never open your own mind sight on something different, then they're gonna have you in this systematic error in your mind where you think this is what you're supposed to do every day. But me, I'm always thinking of something bigger and something better to do because I feel like it's just too much to do in America where you shouldn't be stuck to one thing. You shouldn't be stuck thinking that this is it. It's all up to you what you can achieve. It took me a while because honestly, like growing up, like I told you, my grandma raised me. My grandma raised me around church. That's all I knew was church, 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 church. My grandma had me wearing like my skirts and stuff. I had to wear them to the floor because she didn't want people looking at me, and and I was really quiet because I really believed in what she was saying. When I got older and I actually grew up, I was like the only person. I went outside one day and I stood out there and I said the only person that can get me to heaven if I'm supposed to be going, that's where we all supposed to go. Because really and truly, honestly, let's just all be honest. We don't know where we're going. We don't know where God is supposed to be taking us. Half of us don't even know God's real name. We don't even know. He has so many names, and people be like, nah, that's not his name. Oh no, this is my God. That's his name. It's probably the same person. That's how I look at it in religion. All of it's probably the same person. Because if you think about it and you look at how people reading their Qurans and they this Bible and that Bible, and most of it starts to be the same thing. It comes out the same thing, and you just be like, this is so similar to what we learn in Christianity. And it's like, come on, man. I just started realizing like we might be talking about the same person. And y'all just might have different names for that person. He has multiple names, but I don't even get into that because now I'm just like this. Only person that can judge me is the person that made me. That's the only person that can judge me. So I had to get out of that little block I was in about just church, and you can't do this and you're not supposed to wear that, and you're not supposed to wear your hair like this, and you then my stepmother, she was like, oh, you're supposed to wear this thing on your head. And my dad was like, he was trying to be in my life, especially when I was young. But when I got 16, he was really trying to show me what I needed to do. So he was trying to get me to go to church. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, when I had got older, I didn't want to go to church no more. I was like, I done churched out. I'm tired of sitting on the bench. And I had got to the point where I had got tired because I was like, people are talking in church, but people aren't doing what they're talking. So why do I need to go in a building to hear you talk to me, but you're not doing what you're telling me that you're not doing what you're saying? So I sat back one day and I just reevaluated my whole life, and I'm just like, there's more to life than just church. Right, that is what happens to most people, and I got to that. And to this day, nobody can get me to go to church. Nobody can get me to go sit in church. I will not do it. And it's not because I don't love God. It's not because I don't believe in religion. It's not because of that. I have my own way of thinking. And I believe if you're trying to get to somebody and if that person really exists, you don't have to run to a building where a bunch of people having sex with each other and the pastor sleeping with the bishop and all this stuff. I can tell you that the pastor is sleeping around, and I just feel like they ask for too much out of people. And now I'm just at the point where I'm just like I'm just at the point where I'm just like, you know what? I gotta think for myself. So I think in my own way, whether it's wrong or right. Whether it's wrong, and that's why I can look at the Keneeka Jenkins case different than other people. I don't know what it is, but what's her name? Something Beauty. She be up there. Barbie doll, 24 hours. I don't know these people name. Barbie 24/7. Her name Barbie 24/7. Beach Beauty. Beach Beauty. Barbie 24/7. Um, Zach died. Now I'm telling you, I used to watch Zach. Now I'm gonna tell you what I heard about him. That Zach is not even. You don't know Zach's TV. He was from Chicago too. Yeah, Zach is from Chicago. I don't know what part. But Zach, they're trying to say that Zach got killed because of Keneeka. But in recent news, they're trying to say that what happened to him had nothing to do with Keneeka. That he had did some video on some people, and then he turned around and did the video on some ops. Ain't that what y'all call them? OPS, ops. He did the video on the other gang, then the ops, and they didn't like that. They was like, why are you doing video on these people and then you doing video on us? And they trying to say that's where it came from, but we don't know. I tried. We don't know. We don't know. Like all I know is he was getting really deep, and he was kind of had the same mindset I had. Like he was basically saying, he was basically saying, "There's no way Keneeka friends did this." He just basically called them dummies. I wasn't trying to call them dumb. I never came out my mouth and said they're stupid. He was like, man, they just not smart enough to do that. And I was like, okay, I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work. You can't be calling people, telling people they not smart enough over on YouTube. You gotta put stuff in perspective and put it in a different way when it's time to put it out. Okay, but now it's just like I really want to know like what happened to her and how did her case get so big where people honestly like took the time out of their day to investigate. They need to put investigation discovery YouTube because that's what we are. Investigation discovery YouTube or 2020 YouTube or something because when and then she not the only one. What about dude Kendrick Johnson? Is that his name? They gonna take him and roll him up in a mat in the school, and then his mom and them thinking, okay, he just dead. We don't know what happened. And then they bury him, and they resume his body because stuff don't sound right. And then he come back up, and he don't got nothing but newspaper in his stuff. And then that other girl, yeah, he not the only one. That other girl, it's another girl that they put beside Keneeka and finally found her. Where they find her at? You know what I'm talking about? And she was from Chicago, right? They found her somewhere. They found her. They been looking for her, and then they finally found her. They said her organs was missing. I'm just like, what is going on? And it's not just Chicago, cause it was another Rosemont hotel. It wasn't even in Chicago, and somebody got killed up there. And that man that right, the abandoned building, and that man, what's his name? He was what they called them, the freedom fighters, the freedom fighters, and he might not be in the freedom fighters. Yeah, is that her, the model from Atlanta? Then you got the freedom fighters going to the other hotel, Rosemont, not Rosemont. That's not the name of the hotel. Wherever the name of the hotel is, another one. And they got them going up there, and somebody else end up in the hotel dead. I don't know if they was in the freezer, but they was in the hotel dead, and it was a young woman. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So is this really true? Like people is really getting other people's organs and just putting them exactly. So when I tell you I'm on everything, I'm on everything. I'm like I don't it's not too much I miss. The only reason I would miss it is if I'm not gonna say interested in it. I'm gonna say not enough information. Like if somebody say so and so got shot, Who is Hallway? Hallway, he cut her organ. She in the hall? Oh, she was in the hallway. And he cut. That's what I'm saying. But guess what though? Guess what I found out? Listen to this. And when I tell you I'm a thinker, and when I tell you I research, I really do. I read a lot of books. I was told I read up on this, and I heard that black people organs are the best organs that you can traffic because black people's organs gonna fit most people. It's gonna work for most people because a white person cannot produce a different colored child. You can get a black person, and these people out here. Let me go ahead and set this straight. See, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm not Puerto Rican because people always think that I'm not Mexican. I am a mixture. My grandfather was a white Indian man. My grandmother was black, so that makes my mother what? That's all. There's nothing else to it. No, and every time I get stopped, oh, you Puerto Rican, oh, you Mexican. That's why I'm telling you, black people can make any kind of child, any kind of child. A white person cannot do that. A white person cannot make any kind of child. It's hard for them to make any kind of child. It would take a black person with a white person to make a different kind of baby. It's really hard for them to change up their whatever, but a black person can come out with an albino child with the yellow silverish, the yellow golden hair. um they can come with a black baby with different color eyes, a black baby, or black. Look, if I showed you my nephew, you'd be like, "What in the world?" My nephew is black, really black, but he got hair like my mother, and that's what I'm saying. Black people can make any kind of children, any kind of children. They can make them, and that's why I was reading, and it was saying that black people organs are demand because black people organs are good. This story I just read about this dude, he had his mama got rid of him. She had him and she couldn't take care of him. Okay, I will. But this mother, she was black, and she gave her child away and she thought that her child was gonna get adopted by a black family. So her child sitting in what you call it, in a foster home. He's a baby sitting in a foster home. This white lady come along. She is in love with this black baby. He wasn't that black. More. I'm gonna tell you, he was my color, probably more than likely. So she probably did something. You know how people like to mix stuff up. But when people ask me what I am, you know what I tell them. But she told that white lady, when that white lady kept him all the time. She never let him go. She was his mother till he was 5. She she told him that she told that lady, she said, "You cannot have my child. You are white. I would like to have him adopted by black people." I don't know if that black lady. Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said what I said. We would. That's why our organs are on demand because we were first. No matter how much they try to hide it, you don't never watch History Channel. Oh, the History Channel make me sick sometimes because them people, they don't want to say what they need to say. You got to go look up the word. Oh, there was a morgue. No, what they call them? More. Dang, I forgot the word. It's a old word. They were. I can't think of. It's an M word though. It's what black people use. Moors. Thank you. I was about to say the morgue. They were Moors. They'd be like, well, in after death, BC, this is a white lady talking. They were Moors, or they were the after the Aztec people, and all these other different old words. They use old words. The Aztecs, they were this and they were that, and this is, I'm gonna do this statue, and the statue, and when you watching the whole show, they talking about these people and how they was fighting, and they was surviving, and they was making their own little colony, and Then they had to fight this other group of people, and then they won. And they was dominant over everybody. And then they made this bridge across the water. That's the Alltech people. And then she up there talking about, oh yes, yes, I have seen Hidden Colors. That's what I'm telling you. It's not too much stuff that I haven't watched, haven't seen, haven't heard. That's what I'm saying. Then she up there talking about the statue's almost done. She up there making the statue, and then the commercial come on. She come back on, and the statue sitting up there. It's a brown person, but you got them light brown, and you know daggone well that's not how they look back then. Because one of right, and that's what I'm saying. I was stupid at first. I'm not gonna lie. I was dumb, and it was because my grandma said, "Go to school, get your education, so you can prosper in life, so you could be somebody." What education? Now I wanted to ask her what education. Please, can you? By the way, if this look weird in the back, I'm in the attic. I'm supposed to be cleaning up, but I'm like, what education? Now back then I was like, yeah, I want to get me an education. I can get this mansion and this. Now I'm like, what education was we supposed to be getting? Because our education that we need, it was only talking about we was in slavery. I promise you, I would never forget opening up the social studies book, reading all the I look at all that stuff and I'm like, okay, so this is white people history. Where is ours? I see that. I don't know. It's really crazy. And normally it doesn't buffer, so I don't know why I did that. Maybe I got too much stuff. It's like a cave, but missing all that stuff, and then I sit there, just like, but look, no, I don't have iPhones. This phone that I have right now. This is one of my favorite phones. Like, this is a phone that you probably not gonna like, but in all reality, like all jokes aside, I like I like this phone. It's a Moto. It's a Hello Moto phone, and